Welcome back to You Can Do It. So this evening we're going to spark up this Monolith barbecue and we actually aim to cook a chicken on it. So let's see how we get on. So this is brand new, that's as you get it, standard. I've now got my charcoal here.
Daddy.
Yeah? So first of all, we'll take a little grill off with our little grill tool. We'll leave that there. There's our barbecue. Okay, I've used the shovel and I've shoveled that. Look, we're in this together. I've never used one before, so I've filled that up as much as I think it probably need. I don't know how much it's going to use, so let's see. Now, if you actually look there, there's a little hole there, and I've lined that up. I don't know if you're supposed to, but I've lined that hole up there with this here. So in actual fact, I can blow straight through there with their special lighter, or I can actually feed in there with something I'm going to knock up to feed my pellets in there. I'm going to push that through in the middle and put my smoking pellets. But anyway, we're just going to do a normal barbecue now. So every man has his own way of lighting the barbecue, but I've just got, as I'm at home, I'm just going to use my gas burner. Okay, let's set the stopwatch. So that's been set. And this is how I start the barbecue. It takes 2 seconds. Give it a bit of heat like this. And then I'll just close the lid and we'll see how quickly it takes to get up to temperature. Right. That's nice, that's lit. Look at that. That's great. So what we're going to do, we close the lid. I've opened that flap fully. And then I think I can just take that off for a minute. And then it's got free flare. Oh, there's lots of heat coming through there already. So look, temperature is at nothing. Watch is at 1 minute 40. See how long that takes. So we'll be back later. Okay, we're 9 minutes since I very first started. I think there's about 7.5 minutes of actual warming time. And look, she's up to it. She's well over 100 now. So it's really quick at heating up. I mean, it's a fair old heat there. So I don't think that'll be long before that's up to 200 and we can start cooking. So I'll be coming back later. Okay, she's been running for about 10 minutes now of actual heating time and she's up to 150. So she's doing really well. Now I've got to actually go off and do something, so I've just throttled that right back and I've put this back over here and left it at full just so that it heats up slowly while I'm away. So I'll be back. See you soon. Okay, I've come back. I've left this running. I was away for an hour, so she's just sitting at 200. Just only like half an inch gap there. A few things. It's definitely burning off its newness smell, so it's actually quite good. It's been burning for an hour. It's definitely really hot now. The outside of it is hot. Under there, actually underneath here is not hot at all, so you're totally safe to put that on I mean, that's actually like a plastic coated table and that's absolutely fine, so that's given me lots of confidence there. So it's just running on at 200 there, so I'm now actually going to put the diffuser, or like the diffuser plate in there, so that it's now going to, at the moment it's obviously direct cook mode, and then it'll be into indirect or oven mode, and then I'll put the chicken in. I haven't had a lot of time to prepare the chicken, so I'm gonna have to do that quite quickly. You don't want to be opening these loads and loads of times if you're trying to do some obviously roasting or things like that, because the temperature will drop. So that's at 200 at the moment. If I lift that lid up there, look, you can see I've hardly burnt any charcoal. That's lovely and warm in there, and it does take time for this ceramic to heat up, so don't give it a bit of time to warm up. Yeah. So if I put that lid down now, look, you can see the temperature's dropped. Well, it's dropping now, look, you can see it's dropped. It's dropped there, but that will come up really quickly. I mean, I've got two options. I can open this bit here a bit more, or I just leave it like this and it will come back up fairly quickly. So as you can see, it's starting to rise again now already. So I'm going to go and get my chicken ready, and I'll be back in a minute. Before I get my chicken done, I'm actually going to put this diffuser plate in, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually wrap that in a bit of tin foil just in case the fat drops onto that. Normally I'd put a stainless steel plate, but I can't find it, so I'm just going to wrap that in tin foil, and then we'll put that in, and then I'll go and do the chicken. I've wrapped my stone in a bit of tin foil, and this is an experiment. So here we are. Got my thing, got my handy little, take that off. I'm going to stick that on a piece of wood. Then we drop that in. I'm going to put the pizza, it's basically a pizza stone. I'm going to stick that in there. Right. I'm going to put the grill back in. And close that down. Now, as you can see, the temperature there, look, has dropped. She's dropped down to 150, so you don't want to be opening that lid for that long if you're cooking in this sort of mode. So I'm just going to open that door a little bit under there, give it a bit of a shot to get up quickly. I'll be back with my chicken. Here we are back in the kitchen. I picked up one of these today, and I'm going to try and, I've never used one of these, but I'm going to try and use that. So you slide the chicken there. I'm actually going to put some beer in there, some beer and some garlic, and see what happens. So let's get on. Okay, this is the bird. This is a free-range bio, whatever. It's a bionic bird, but it costs 17 euros. This is in Austria. It's not cheap, but look, there's not a lot of fat on that bird because actually it's lived off of nothing. So it's super healthy, but there's not a lot of meat on it. Anyway, I'm going to get onto that. I'm going to season this. I've rubbed some olive oil and salt on there. I mean, if I had longer, if I had more time, I'd be injecting butter in there and all that stuff. So I've just seen on the internet about doing a beer chicken. So I'm actually going to put some beer in there. It gives me a excuse to have a beer as well. So I'm going to fill that out with beer, stick the chicken on there, and we're putting it in. So I'll be back in a second. Which is really good beer from Munich. So that's in there. A little bit of a frothy head on it. Chuck is stuck on there. I've just found a baking thing that will do. I can stick that underneath that so that the fat will drop into that. We're good to go. Let's go to the barbecue. I couldn't get this down low enough on there because it's quite a small bird. So what I've had to do is take that grill out. So she's standing on this tray, and the tray also lifts it up. So, but it does just go in, yeah. So look, it goes in there. It's sticking out, not completely sticking out the top. So now I'm basically, because I've had that open, I've lost a lot of temperature. So I'm just going to crank that up like that, and then we can leave that for an hour and see how we get on. Welcome back. I'm drinking my beer now. Look, the chuck's sitting there at about 180 on there, and cooking away. I kept that off because actually the bird's quite close to the top there, so I reckon that's what the bird's already restricting a little bit of the flow. You can feel the hot air coming out the top of that. Next process will be once I've finished cooking this bird, is I'm going to try and make sure I can get the altitude of the bird lower down. So I mean, obviously I could do it the normal way and just leave the bird flat on there, but I'm just trying to use the little chuck stand or whatever it is. So let's see how we get on. So look, she's sitting at about 180 to 200. It's a bit small inside, so my bird is actually sticking there. So look, that's my bird on a roaster, but I've got to find a system that brings it a bit closer down. But yeah, she's cooking away now. I've just had a little idea. I'm going to put, it's amazing what a bit of beer does for you. I'm just going to put me a little, I do this with a bit of onion, a bit of butter, bit of thyme or whatever herbs and spices you want to put in there, and then just roll that up into a little ball, and then I can stick that in with next to the chicken. There are my 3 little balls. Good. And I'll just stick that in there, maybe one there, and then they can cook with the bird. But that's looking really good now, isn't it? Look at that. It's definitely christened, this barbecue. You see, as soon as you open the lid, look, the temperature drops a bit. So you don't want to be, with these barbecues, you don't want to be lifting the lid every 5 minutes if you're doing a sort of a roasting type oven basis. Obviously if it's a grill, then you'll be lifting it all the time, or the lid will be up all the time. But if you're doing the oven diffused heat system, you don't want to be opening it up all the time. Which is why I think they obviously have a sort of pellet, well, I'm going to make that a pellet, get the pellets in there. So I haven't gone for smoking this time because I'm trying lots of new, I've never used it before. So the next video, if you watch, I'll do a bit of smoking. We'll see how we get on with that. So anyway, look, the temperature's coming back up again. So I'm going to sit and quietly have my beer, ponder on all the different things I can cook on here. Okay guys, we're back in here, temperature's up at 180, and look at that for a bird. So this is the first time. It smells gorgeous. Look, obviously it hasn't crisped up. Well, I pulled that off just to check it's cooked, but I put some onions in here, looking good, some peppers. So we're going to take that bird out now and eat it. We've got some roasted vegetables there, which I actually did in the oven, but I'll do those next time on here when I learn how to get it all at the right level. Anyway guys, it's what I will say is it's just trial and error with these things, because it's so delicate. You can open that a little bit and leave it like that and go away, and you come back and it's right up at 250, or you can close it and come back and you find it suddenly drop right down to 100. So it's very sensitive. So you know, every one will be slightly different, so you just got to get used to it. But we're going to eat this food now, and I'll come back later. We've had a sumptuous meal. She's still look 180. There's the bird on the stick. The great thing about that thing there is you can slice stuff off as you want. What I will say is these things take some time to get to understand, because honestly, you can sit there, you touch that a little bit too far and it just, you go away and it drops right down. Touch it a little bit further away and you come back and it's like right up here. So they are really quite sensitive. So it just takes a bit of time, and it takes experience to understand how to keep it at a constant temperature. This one seems to be obviously is much more important for the flow of air in, but this does actually have an effect as well, obviously. So that's something you're just gonna have to work out. But I'm very pleased with the quality. The food was just amazing, and it was so succulent. The chicken was just like bursting with like juices. It was a slightly different colour than if you put it in an oven. I think that's probably because an oven normally dries the chicken out a lot more. So it looked a lot more sort of almost red. So it was almost like you could sort of look at it and think, oh, maybe it's a bit uncooked. But actually it was totally cooked through. But I think because it hasn't had the air going through it to dry it out, it just, oh, it's beautiful, very tender. So yeah, I can totally recommend these babies. But what I can suggest is that you don't get too ambitious too soon, because they're going to take a bit of time to work out how to use them. I've been a bit ambitious because I've tried a new cooking method with the chicken and this, that and the other. So really just stick to what you know how to cook normally, try it on here, and you'll be spending a bit of time working out on yours, you know, what this situation and this situation, because you know you look at this gauge and it just seems to be creeping up a little tiny bit. You go away and next thing you know it's up here. So just be careful. But anyway, have lots of fun. Any questions or any comments, send me a comment. If I can help, I will. Follow us, because we're going to then start expanding our experience with this. We're going to get the fire plate and cast iron grills and stuff like that. We start to cook some really juicy stuff on that. So yeah, if you like the channel, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down and tell me why. Have a good time with your Monolith. Brilliant product, highly recommend it. Look at this, don't you don't often get this on the chicken, where you can just look at that. Oh, and this is they're quite good, these little chicken rooster things that you pick up the box. So that's got some beer in there. So I put a load of beer in there, and it's just cooked up, and the beer is obviously evaporated up through the chicken. Gives the chicken a really nice flavour. Oh, but we haven't even used the legs and stuff, legs and wings. I mean, so that's a beauty. Hang on, a bit stuck here. Look, and then I cook vegetables around the bottom here as well. But this obviously isn't how you're supposed to use it. But I can tell you one thing: it certainly looks used after one go. But the meat is just beautiful, doesn't it? It's weird though. It looks a bit like it's uncooked. So it's quite red. Look, but it's just so tasty. Oh, look, see, it's still red. Look, it looks quite red, doesn't it? That's completely cooked. I think it's because it hasn't got the air going through it, but an oven chicken would. Right, give me a call.